Hi, guys. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. Got a full slate of stuff going today. So, got three people in the room already. Seems like folks are eager to be in class. Four people. All right. Hello, Jay Yoon and Arlene. Um, Hope you celebrated Mother's Day in your homes. Carly and Serena, hi there. One of the things that made this a big weekend for me is that the trails have reopened in LA parks, particularly Griffith Park. And I was out on the trails on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I was on a bicycle and was around the park. And on Saturday, some of the trails were getting pretty crowded. Uh, so if you do intend to hike in Griffith Park, I would say try to avoid the most popular trails, like going to Mount Hollywood or what have you. Try to avoid that during peak hours. Other than that, I think you should be okay. Ashley, hi, and Rafa, good to virtually see you. All right, all right. We're just about up to 10:45. Just about time to start. All right. Well, let's go for it. First announcement. The Associated Students event calendar is out, and it is chock full of activities for students. Among other things, GCC Pride Week continues. Asian Pacific American Heritage Month continues. I saw just an email over the last 10 minutes or so about an Asian Pacific American Heritage Month event that's going on today. I think it was about origami. We have student elections coming up. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Ayad and Marina and Nick. Okay. Student elections are coming up. I've already had one former MassCom 101 student ask if she could put a link to her campaign video on my announcements on Canvas. Now, what the policy is that if teachers allow campaign materials from one candidate, they should allow campaign materials from all candidates. So, sure. If you or a friend of yours is running for student body office and you have a campaign video that you would like me to link to in the announcements, I would be happy to do so. So just get hold of me with that by email and we'll make it happen. And by the way, if you are running for student body office, good luck. I believe in students doing that sort of thing. It's a leadership activity. All right. Also on the Associated Students event calendar, um, you know, two things that you might want to think about, two resources that Glendale College has that you might want to think about while you are, I don't know, sort of in this, purgatory. There we go. There's my catechism coming back. Yeah, purgatory. That's what we're in. Um, while we're in this, two things that you might want to think about are one, career development activities that are available at Glendale College. The Associated Students event calendar has a link to career development. And what that means is really trying to figure out what you'd like to do for your life's work and how that might match up with your natural abilities. The second resource at Glendale College that I would recommend that you follow up with during this time is our transfer center. I know that just about all of you are hoping to transfer, and it helps to have a plan. It helps to have an expert who tells you these units work better than those units. These two majors are very similar in the courses you take, but one of them is much more impacted than the other, so it's much more easy to get in this major than that major. The transfer center can really help you transfer as well as you can. Plus, they can help you figure out the money side of it. I think another reason why the transfer center is important for students like us, because like many of you, I was the first in my family to go to college, and so we didn't have that parent or that aunt or uncle to tell us how college worked. So use the transfer center. Their expertise is well worth your time. Tomorrow, there's going to be a general faculty meeting. And I assume that at that faculty meeting, Dr. Vyar is going to tell us whether the fall semester will be on campus or not. It is widely believed we'll at least be starting the semester remote learning and DE. But I'll tell you what, on Wednesday, it'll be after that faculty meeting. And so I'll just tell you what Dr. Vyar said. You'll probably have an email from him by then, but if you don't, I'll just tell you what he said. No secrets. Third thing, supplemental instruction. Tomorrow, Stephanie will be on Discord, 12:30, and she will be going through Chapter 11, the advertising chapter. 4, I'm doing 2 things today that are a little different. I'm trying to, build a little bit more into the course. When we got thrown into this remote setting, some weeks ago, I just designed the course so that it wouldn't fail. Now I'm trying to add a few things in. One thing I'm going to add in today, we'll see how it works. I'm going to do a Zoom office hour. I'm not a huge fan of Zoom. I think it tends to be a little chaotic, but anyhow, if you want to attend my Zoom office hour today at 1:30, go to the announcements. I have the invitation for, what link you go to get in on my office hour. Realize that Zoom isn't the perfect office hour tool because it's not private. So, if you want to just talk about the class in general, I think that would work out very well over Zoom. If you have some personal thing that you need to tell me about, do that through email. Okay, Zoom office hour today, 1:30. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. This may be the one and only. Who knows? Let's see who else is in the room. Iad has a question about the research paper. Okay. Put it in the chat box, unless it's something personal about your paper. And then Lucero, hi. Let's see, what else? Speaking of term papers, if you were late in getting your term paper in and the submission window closed, email me about that and we'll work something out. Okay. I think that once you turn in the paper, you've turned in the paper. We'll have to talk about that through email or something. But usually, if we're playing basketball and I've beaten you 16-14, and you say, "Hey, could I revise that last shot that clanked off the rim?" Well, I don't know. Okay. Up next. Quiz number 3 will be next week. It will be the same format as quiz number 2. If you remember, that was multiple choice. You got several attempts to take it. Quiz number 3 will cover the 3 chapters right after the midterm. So that would be television, the internet, and advertising. So, okay. Now, it is time for the question of the day. And the question of the day is related to term papers. So, did your term paper turn out like this one? You say, what is this monstrosity? This, ladies and gentlemen, is my dissertation. Yep. When you go for a master's degree, you have the option of writing a thesis. And when you go for a PhD, you must write a dissertation. I was already teaching at Glendale College when I was finishing up my degree at USC. This is on vellum. It's not quite paper. It's a latter-day version of the animal skin that illuminated manuscripts, the earliest books in the European tradition, were created on. And the reason why there was a requirement to do this on vellum is that another copy of this is in the university library, I guess in the basement somewhere at USC, and they want it to stay there for, I don't know, essentially forever. They do that with all dissertations. It's not like there's anything special with mine. How many pages, you may wonder? 389 pages. And then once you write it, you have to defend it. Let's see, 3 professors will ask critical questions about your dissertation, and you have to defend. All right, let's see what came in on the chat box, and then I'll tell you what the question of the day is. Okay. Question of the day. What is the biggest or weirdest or most memorable paper you have ever written? What is the biggest, weirdest, or most memorable paper that you have written? And what made it memorable? So I got to say, with this dissertation, I'm just kind of vamping for time while you guys come up with your answers. With this dissertation, I was unsuccessful in defending it the first time. 2 of the 3 professors felt that it was sufficient and, were ready to wave me through for my degree. But the 3rd one felt that I needed to revise my statistical analysis. And so I had to take another semester to revise my statistical analyses throughout this thing. And then he signed off, and I got my degree, and here I am talking to you. All right, so let's see, who's got, what's your biggest or weirdest or most memorable paper that you've ever written? Arlene is saying, Arlene is asking, what are the chapters to study for quiz 3? The chapters right after the midterm. So that'd be chapters 9, 10, 11. Television, internet, advertising. Okay, Destiny is saying that she wrote an essay on fangirls for her English 101 class. That sounds like fun. Talked about how they're viewed within society. So when you say fangirls, would these be like women who are doing zines or blogs about a band that they like or something like that? I'm not, probably, because I'm old, I don't exactly know what a fangirl is. Joel is talking about writing his University of California app essays, which you ended up, not turning in because the UCs are too expensive. Joel, see the Transfer Center. They may be able to give you some ideas about the money side of things. I mean, really, please do that. Serena, once I wrote a paper about gender neutrality. And one of my points was about how men also wear makeup. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Gosh, Little Richard just died. The 1950s, 1960s musician. Little Richard back in the 1950s, Great Balls of Fire and stuff like that. He wore makeup and he was kind of a gender bending sort of performer. And oh my gosh, was that considered to be, radical uh, back then? Okay, Carly is saying, had to write a 30-page paper on Animal Farm, and I remember not enjoying it. Carly, I think what part of that is that Animal Farm is just such an unpleasant novel, right? It's about power and people using their power to bully and abuse and be mean and just brings out the worst in folks. Yeah, I would hate to dwell in Animal Farm philosophy for 30 pages. Yeah. Joel is saying he's transferring to Cal State Northridge because they're the only college nearby with your major. Oh, okay. Okay. Ashley wrote an essay about Hunger Games, dystopian society. Is it just me, or are we becoming more like the Hunger Games? I mean, especially as this crisis is throwing so many people out of work. Anyhow, Ashley wrote an essay about the Hunger Games, dystopian society. It was the worst essay you've ever written, really? Because you spent so much time on it and you didn't get a satisfying grade. You know, if I had it to do over again, I think I'd worry less about grades. I think I'd want to do the paper the way I want to do it. And if the teacher doesn't see it your way, well, that's the teacher's right. You'll still probably move on. Haley, I honestly don't think I've had that much of a big or weird paper to write. Well, your college career is young, Haley. You probably will get something like that. Okay, Destiny, back on fangirls. They're hardcore fans of films or books or bands or sport teams. Any and everyone can be a fanboy or fangirl, regardless of age or demographic. Hmm. Destiny, I guess I would have become, if things had been normal this year, I might have become kind of a Dodger fanboy in that I was going to join Pantone 294. They're the ones who take those trips to other teams' ballparks and they unveil the huge Dodger flag and generally make a nuisance of themselves. Yeah. Oh, well, didn't happen. Joel is talking about the Hunger Games society we're living in. Yeah, last man standing wins toilet paper. Ashley, you dropped the class. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And Destiny, you missed Dodger games. Oh gosh, so do I. So do I. All right, so let me tell you what you're doing today. Let me tell you what you got going. For the media note, I'm going to have you doing something a little different. The media note is going to key in with the advertising chapter. It is called The Psychology of Selling Cars. And you're going to watch 2 television ads for cars. And I want you to note how they aren't really selling the car so much on its features as they are creating kind of a dream life around the car. So watch the 2 ads, and then instead of having the 3-question quiz, this is where it really gets different. I'm going to have you write a little bit about the ads, okay? There are going to be 3 questions that you will need to answer, 1 point per question. Each question can be answered within 2 to 3 sentences. So for the 3 questions, as you answer them in the text box, I would say answer question number 1, next paragraph. Answer question number 2, next paragraph. Answer question number 3. And I decided to do that because it allows us to get a little bit deeper into the material than we can do with just multiple choice. So that's your media note. And then for the chapter, we're getting into chapter 12, public relations. and I'm going to have you go through the first half of the public relations chapter, go through the slide that is titled, Who Are the Publics? So for public relations, go through the slide, Who Are the Publics? Let's see. Ashley is asking, where are the questions for the media note? Well, when you go to the assignment, where you would click on Media Note Quiz, it'll take you to the text box, and you'll see the rubric that has the 3 questions. So that's where they are. All right. Any parting shots before I go over to Canvas chat? All right, guys. I will end the live stream now, and I will be over at Canvas chat in just a few seconds. See you soon.